Cruise news time. Well, Carnival making a change to their proposed approach to testing. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Lido, Loca. I'm your host, Tony. I'm here on assignment, on location in the Pacific Ocean. That's it. Pacific Ocean. It is Saturday morning, the 18th of September, and making my way back to Seattle, Washington to disembark the Majestic Princess. And I'm trying to get caught up with the cruise news, so I'm trying to work my way into it. Today I just wore a t-shirt. I know a lot of people got confused the other day that I wore a hat in Alaska and a long sleeve shirt. But if you've never been to Alaska, the temperature in Alaska is less than it is in Florida. And so, you wear a hat to keep the heat from escaping your body, and you wear long sleeves to stay warm. Mystery solved. How about that? So, cruise news. But first, let me answer a burning question. A lot of people ask, why in some scenarios was I wearing a mask outside in Juneau, Alaska? Was it required? I don't think there was an official outside mask mandate. Certainly when you went into places, they wanted you to wear a face covering. Of course, on the cruise ship, you need to wear a face covering whenever you're disembarking the ship. But again, it was like 40 or 50 degrees. The mask was kind of warm, and it was raining. And so a lot of times I wouldn't take the mask off, especially during the whale watching. We were going from the inside cabin, and then they'd be like, there's a whale. And then we would run out to the outside deck. And yeah, I didn't take the time to take off the mask. And certainly when I was on the very top of that whale watching ship and the wind was hitting me and stuff like that, the mask was pretty warm. I'm to the point with the mask where I don't really think about it. Sometimes it bothers me and sometimes I want to take it off, but sometimes I just wear it without thinking about it. So, don't let the mask bother you, especially don't let me wearing a mask bother you. I see people oh, you got to take off the mask. I don't understand what me wearing a mask has to do with bothering somebody. But, you do you, boo. If you don't want to wear a mask, don't wear a mask, but, it's weird that I have to answer the question, why? Either way, I hope that helps. A lot of times it was because I wasn't thinking about it. A lot of times it's because it was keeping my face warm. No big deal. I've been wearing a clean mask every day. Let me tell you, that makes a huge difference. There's a time during the shutdown where I wouldn't switch the mask every day. I'd have a cloth mask. I'd wash it once a week or something like that. But I got the big old package of disposable mask, and the fresh mask every day does seem to make a difference. It doesn't smell weird. I kind of dig it. Okay. I won't wear a mask right now. I don't want to trigger anybody. Okay. Welcome to the show. I feel like a little out of touch when I go cruising because I don't get to do the regular show. I don't have my studio behind me. But anyways, let's do this. If you're brand new here, if you like to stay up to date with everything that's going on cruising, please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. That way you don't miss out on any of these episodes. Lots more stuff coming from Alaska. We spent the day in Skagway. We spent the day in Glacier Bay. We spent the day in Ketchikan. And so stay tuned. Subscribe, notification bell on. All right, cruise news story. Very simple, just a single cruise news story. A few weeks ago, Carnival said, look, we're going to a 2-day testing cycle that you have to have a negative test 2 days prior to your cruise, when it used to be 3 days, when at one point it used to be no days. You didn't have to have a test, but now in this world, we've got to have a test. And so now that's a 2-day cycle. Of course, I used the home test. Make sure you check out the video. I'll link it above, showing you the whole process for doing the home test. And there's been some questions about the expiration dates of the home test. The original home test that shipped out had a very short expiration date, but the FDA has extended those expiration dates. So you can go and download a certificate of when it expires. They don't even check your expiration date, but you should be okay with the home test that you're getting in. That's the way I went. It was easy peasy, lemon squeezy, easier than anything else I did. There was a cost to it, $25 a test, but Carnival had also promised to work with a company to set up testing at the port, and for people that couldn't get a test, as a last result, they could get tested at the port for a fee that was going to be charged to them. And now Carnival has come out and said, yeah, it's not going to work out. Logistically, we can't make it work out. I know we said it, but can't do it. That's the simple cruise news story. They kind of teased and promised that there would be testing at the port, but now they can't do it. it's questionable, right? Because over in the UK, all of the cruise lines are testing at the port. They've figured out a way to work with companies to get testing at the port. I have speculated that because that was baked into their plan originally, that it was easier, right? The whole time in the UK or in the Mediterranean, these companies knew that they would be testing at the port, and so they kind of built that into probably the pricing and into the whole infrastructure of the thing. Well, since testing's changed a lot in the US, now you see cruise lines scrambling to come up with a way to either, there was no scramble to require testing. Now that was pretty easy. They just flipped the switch and said, now you have to test. And they didn't really do a lot to help passengers come up with those tests, which is frustrating. And so we're still on that boat. Like, hey, you're making this test. Why don't you give us an easy process? And so now many of the cruise lines are pointing, of course, at these home tests. And but yeah, I think it's because they did not bake testing into the process, into the fee structure in the beginning, and now as they scramble to try to come up with options, they're finding it just not workable. And so that's where Carnival's position is. Why say it? I guess maybe they had best intentions at the time to do testing at the port, but as they started to, it's weird. It's weird in business. Like, I would never say something until I knew fairly well that this would be the case. Like, I think the optics, this is a word that's used sometimes, the optics, the way things look, you want the best optics possible. And so on the day that they tell you that we're going to 2-day testing, they also go, but it's okay, because we're working on a thing where we're going to have testing at the port. Who knows how vetted that idea was? Who knows how down the road that idea was? But it did lessen the blow of the 2-day message. But then, weeks later to come back and go, yeah, well, you really just have the 2-day testing and we're not going to have testing at the port. Sorry, it didn't work out. I'm sure that could leave a sour taste in your mouth. But me, I feel completely content doing the home test, so I'm not too stressed about it. And the home test, look, Jenny's parents are going on a cruise today. Jenny's mom and stepdad, Emily and Frankie, you've seen them on the vlog before. They're 70s and 80s, and they did the home test, and they both got through it. It did take Jenny helping them through it, but it is doable. And so there's that. What else can I say about this cruise to Alaska? It really, I'll go in greater detail at some point, but this is the first cruise. Let me say this. This is the first cruise where I have very minimally explored the cruise ship. This is the focus of this cruise to me has been the port cities. I had excursions in Juneau and in Skagway, Glacier Bay. I shared that with you guys the best we could, with internet constraints. I've got some great footage there. Yesterday we were in Ketchikan, and yeah, it's it was a very port focused endeavor to come here to Alaska, and I've done very little exploration of the ship. I know where the theater, the casino, the main dining room, the buffet, the international cafe for coffee and such. But other than that, I haven't spent, of course, my cabin. I haven't spent much time anywhere else on this cruise ship. I may go for a swim today. They have a wonderful inside pool, and they have a hot tub. And then I do need to film my cabin, so I'm going to have to get out here in a little bit so that they can clean it, and I can film my cabin for you. But this has been a completely different cruise for me. I kind of liked it. I liked the cold weather, and the rain, the cold weather, it really added to the experience. I know that sounds weird, but it was nice not being like hot all the time. And so it's weird not to see the sun so much, though. I can't wait to get back to Florida and see the sun, and of course get back to Florida and hang out with Jenny some. But yeah, it's I do recommend Alaska. I'll talk more about it. There's so much to unpack. There's still so much more to share. But thank you guys for tracking along with the adventure. Thanks everybody who's joined us over on Instagram, been watching the daily updates. And yeah, just appreciate you. Thank you so much for checking out the show today. Please show your support by hitting the like button, or I'm going to dress you up like a burglar. Can I say burglar? Like, what's your reference for burglar? I've watched a lot of true crime dramas, and not all burglars look like Joe Pesci from Home Alone. But anyways, some weird people out there. This is Tony with Lido, Loca, and until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.